So next experiment we will start with water cooler. Now usually in water cooler vapor compression refrigeration system is used, and this is the water cooler part. Here you can see a tap has been provided from where you can fill the drinking water in the glass, and this is the sink part from where the excess water goes to the sink. Now this water cooler, it works on vapor compression refrigeration system. In this water cooler, R134A refrigerant has been used, and the components of vapor compression refrigeration system you can see over here. So this black portion, this is reciprocating compressor. Now this is the output of the compressor. So output of the compressor will be high pressure, high temperature vapor refrigerant, which enters the condenser on the top side. Okay, now this condenser, it is tube and fin type condenser, and there are 4 rows of tube over here. So this is 4 row type forced convection air cooled condenser. Now this is the fan of the condenser, and when we turn on the fan, the air enters from this side and it is thrown away in this direction. Now the vapor refrigerant which enters the condenser from the top side, it gets condensed. It might undergo the process of subcooling as well, and after that you can see from here the next line, it enters the filter dryer where dirt and moisture is removed, and after that this blue line, it enters the rotameter. So exit of the condenser, it enters rotameter. Now from rotameter, this blue line, it enters here. This is thermostatic expansion valve. So this thermostatic expansion valve will follow the process isenthalpic expansion, and there will be pressure and temperature drop, and at the exit of that thermostatic expansion valve we have liquid plus vapor. This liquid plus vapor, it enters the water cooler. Now if you see this water cooler, all the 4 sides of the water cooler, that evaporator tube is wound. So inside the tank there will be water, and the cooling tube, they are in all the 4 directions. So they will take the refrigerant, which is R134A, it will take the heat from water, and whatever refrigerant is there, it will get converted into vapor. So it will take the latent heat, it will get converted into vapor, and that vapor, it exits this water cooler, and here you can see again it enters the compressor and it completes the cycle. Now next thing you should remember over here is this compressor part, condenser, expansion device and evaporator. All these 4 components are basically inside the water cooler itself. So the bottom part of the water cooler, we will have compressor, condenser, then thermostatic expansion valve, and evaporator tubes are wound on the walls of this tank. Now usually the range of temperature in water cooler, it is from 10 degrees Celsius to 24 degrees Celsius. Now we will see internal construction of this water cooler. So from here you can see there is a pipeline. So outside also you will be able to see the pipeline. So there are 2 pipelines. So one pipeline from where the filter will be attached, water purifier, and water will enter in the water cooler. Now this tank has a particular capacity, so that much amount of liters of water can be stored in the tank, and here you can see a float valve is there. So this float valve will operate this valve, and according to that the level is maintained in this water cooler, and whatever excess water is there, it will exit the water cooler from this pipe. Now one more thing you can see over here is we have a thermostatic expansion valve, and at the end of the thermostatic expansion valve there is a capillary tube, and that capillary tube has a bulb at the exit. So this part this is the bulb of that thermostatic expansion valve, which is sensing the temperature of water, and according to that the expansion process will change. Pressure drop. Now if you see this wall, the construction of this water cooler is such that inside the wall there will be tube. So the tube is in this way, okay, it is in this way throughout the height of this water cooler, so that whatever water is there inside this tank, it is cooled. Okay, now we will start with the experiment. So after turning on the mains, we have to first turn on the fan. So we have turned on the condenser fan. After that, we will turn on compressor. After 5 minutes, we have to take the readings. Now here you can see the compressor has kicked on. And one more thing is, from expansion device to evaporator, insulation is there, and after picking up the heat, refrigerant comes out of the evaporator, and on the exit of the evaporator to condenser suction line also there is insulation. So we have to take, so we will be taking temperature T1, T2, T3, T4 and T5. So T1 temperature, it is refrigerant inlet temperature to evaporator, which will be after expansion device. So this will be T1 temperature. Then T2 is refrigerant outlet temperature from evaporator. So this is the outlet of evaporator, so this temperature will be T2. Next temperature T3 is refrigerant inlet to condenser. So here you can see from compressor, the exit of the compressor, it enters over here in the condenser. So this temperature, you can see thermocouple has been attached. This temperature will be temperature T3. Temperature T4 is refrigerant outlet temperature from condenser. So you can see here the blue line which is coming out, that line temperature, it will be outlet of the condenser T4. And last temperature T5 is evaporator bath temperature. It will be the temperature of water which is there in water cooler. So we will take temperature T1 to T5. After that we will take high pressure gauge reading, then low pressure gauge reading, and 10 impulse or blinks of energy meter to calculate compressor power consumed, actual power consumed by the compressor. Here you can see rotameter is also there, from where we can measure mass flow rate of liquid refrigerant. Now this rotameter, it is attached after condenser. So whatever density we are taking in case of calculation of mass flow rate, that will be liquid density of refrigerant. So now we will take reading number 2. T1 is 4 degrees Celsius, T2 is 4 degrees Celsius, T3 is 37, T4 35, T5 16. Now we will measure the time. Start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So time is 19.75 seconds. HP pressure value, it is same. We have 150 and it is slightly above 150, so we'll note it as 152. And here LP value, it has further dropped, so this one is 40. It is below, it is in between 35 and 40, so this will be around 37 psi. LPH is around 28. So now, after taking the readings, we have to turn off the compressor, and after turning off the compressor, don't turn off the condenser fan. After 5 minutes, we will turn off the condenser fan and then we will switch off the vanes. Now we have taken all the temperatures T1 to T5, HP, LP value, rotameter value in LPH, and 10 impulse of energy meter from where we can calculate power consumed by compressor. And with this we can calculate COP of water cooler. Now if we take the closer look of compressor, here you can see there is sweating, okay, on the surface of the compressor. Now this happens because in our water cooler which we are using, water is not being circulated continuously. So water is stagnant and its temperature is dropping. So because of that, what will happen? The refrigerant, it will not be able to pick up the required amount of heat. And whatever we are getting at the suction line, the liquid refrigerant is entering the compressor. And because of that, there is sweating of the compressor. Now this sweating is not good for the compressor. Okay, so basically this we have to use a constant line of water, otherwise the life of the compressor will be reduced.